YouTube. So I know my channel is mostly about helicopters, but I bought an RC car, and I was recently introduced to this by Rally Soul, also on YouTube. So we're going to do a little unboxing for YouTube because there are very few of these in the United States, and so I thought it'd be something kind of cool to have some high definition first-hand looks at the Kyosho DRX Ready Set Citroen C4 WRC car. So we'll unbox it now. Alright, so we're going to open this baby up.
Oh, it is recording.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll just move this off to the side. And this was actually taped, but I peeked in here earlier today. This was taped, so I'm going to peel the bubble wrap back. And as you can see, this is a big RC car. Biggest one I've ever owned. That's for sure. So there's the pre-painted Lexan body. That's a beautiful body. Go ahead and pull it out of the plastic. On the inside here, they put chrome on the inside of the body, so that way the headlights actually look more scale. And if you wanted to go really crazy, you could probably put LEDs in there or something. Alright, so here we have a packet of tools, looks like. Yep, there's a cross driver in there. Cut that. Ooh, those are sharp. Okay. Alright, so we got a little packet here. Looks like we have our air cleaner. We've got some body pins. You got that? And we've got a big old honking cross wrench here for wheel nuts, and spark plugs. It looks like that's all one piece. And then of course there are some Allen wrenches in there. This is all metric. It's a Japanese kit after all. And then your big tall body posts, and looks like spare servo horns and servo mounts, and little retaining pieces, and some, like I said, some body pins. So next up, we've got the controller. This is the Kyosho Prefix. No, Perfex. I'm sorry. Actually looks a lot like my old HPI transmitter. Feels pretty light. Doesn't have any batteries in it right now. Normally it would take 8 AA's. This one is Kyosho 4 yellow. I'm not sure what actual frequency that is, but it's just a plain old boring AM transmitter with steering reverse, throttle reverse, power on off switch. You got your dual rates, trim for your steering and your throttle. Absolutely nothing special, just a plain old boring radio. Digital proportional radio control system. Prefix. No, Perfex X. KT6. There it is. Unfortunately, that radio is going to immediately get replaced by a Spectrum receiver, which I'm going to install in this kit. Alright, so we've got user's manual. I also have these downloaded as a PDF and have been looking at them, and of course the dipole antenna for the AM radio. And finally, the coup de grace, as they say. Put that down there. And those are some big old honking tires. All my cars are 10th scale, including my Traxxas Slash. There it is. Check that out. That is a Nitro rally car, pre-built, Kyosho Ready Set DRX. This is actually based off of the DBX, I believe. And this is pretty cool. It comes with threaded shocks, so you can adjust your spring rate on the fly very easily. Comes with linear springs, which is great, and a lot of travel on these tires, which is also very good. And yeah, looks like it will definitely roll nicely, that's for sure. Kyosho KS101BK servo for the throttle and the steering. And this is cool. This looks like this is going to be a separate. Let's see. What am I doing wrong here? Ooh, what's the table there? Ah. Welcome to RC. Okay, so that's interesting. So what they do is they give you a little plastic pin, or a little plastic ring, and that goes down over a little post right there. And this looks like this protects the battery box. Yes. there is our battery box. It's got a standard mini beans connector on it, so you could put in a nickel metal hydride battery pack if you wanted to, or just run it off of AA rechargeables or alkalines, or even lithiums if you've got a lot of money. So that's good. I like that it's in its own little separate box. On my HPI RS4 3 Evo Plus, the radio and the battery and everything is under one. So we'll go ahead and put that back together. Sounds like somebody's riding a lawnmower up and down the street. Alright, so there's our on-off switch. Presumably the radio is underneath. Is this okay? Okay. Just making sure, asking my cameraman if we're in, if I'm okay here. So we're going to go ahead and take that pin out and pry gently. There we go. There's some pins back there. So there's the on-off switch, removable, which is going to have to be, and then underneath it is the Kyosho Perfix Channel 4 yellow radio. Wow, and it's just sitting in there. It's not actually double-sided taped in there, or the double-sided tape came off. So that's pretty good. So that needs to get fixed, of course. So if you're thinking of buying one of these, make sure that your radio is not flopping around inside your protective radio box. Also, you're going to have to check it anyway, because I've just remembered in the manual they tell you to take the antenna cable here and then route it to this little nub right there, and then connect your antenna tube if you want to stick with the AM radio that it comes with, which is fine, which is just fine. So, of course, here's the .18, I think it's called a GRX 18 motor. Don't quote me on that. That's a Kyosho motor with a nice big purple heatsink, blue heatsink, exhaust header, and it looks like this car uses proprietary mount right here. The only complaint I have is the same complaint I have about my HPI, and that's that they went with flatheads or Phillips screws in the bottom here, bottom plate, and these screws are kind of easy to strip. I understand why you do it though. It's difficult to do hex nut and countersunk screws. So, but it's one thing to keep an eye out when you're driving one of these, especially something that shakes around a lot, is these screws over time will back themselves out. They can get caught on things or eventually fall out. Next thing you know, you crash. You have no idea why. Yeah, so this motor looks like it just uses these three here. But there's also standard mounts, and but they're kind of wide. And then this .18 from Kyosho also has standard motor mounts on it. So you could mount this in something else if you wanted to. And I wasn't sure about this, but it looks to me like this flywheel here is starter box compatible, which I wasn't sure of, because all the openings on the bottom of this kit are really small. So that's it for that. Nice big honking 100+ cc gas tank, which is great for a larger motor like this .18. Once you get this thing tuned up, Kyosho says that this thing should run for at least 10 minutes, which is great.